Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to episode number 35 of the Washington football team franchise here on Madden NFL 22. Today we conclude draft week here on the channel with day 3 of the 2022 NFL draft, going through rounds 4 through 7. So if you're excited for this one, make sure you drop a like and subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. Now, last episode we had day 2 where we went through rounds 2 and 3 and we had one round 2 pick. And we turned that into halfback Kyren Williams, or actually our first pick of the draft. A smaller, elusive back who can help out of the backfield, specifically if Antonio Gibson holds out more in the future. Now, round 3, we had 2 picks thanks to a trade with the Vikings. We used the first of those picks on Zay Flowers, a 70 overall hidden development wide receiver out of Boston College. He has elite speed with 96 in that department, and he can even help us stretch the field even more than he already does. Just needs to work on his route running. And then our second day, or round 3 pick, we picked Emil Ekiyor Jr., right guard out of Alabama, just to help with some offensive line depth. He is a 69 overall, but he does have hidden development, and that's very key when you're looking at offensive line prospects and getting them to develop into starting caliber linemen. So we'll jump into round 4, and with the 98th pick in the 2022 NFL draft, the Miami Dolphins select Mohamed Ibrahim, halfback out of Minnesota. Now, halfbacks are very popular candidates in the rest of the draft, not named round 1, and the Dolphins find a nice one here with Ibrahim. He can help Deshaun Watson in that backfield. With the 99th pick in the 2022 NFL draft, the New York Jets select Jermaine Lole, defensive tackle out of Arizona State. So ever since round 1, the Jets have hit on a lot of defensive players. They picked Jordan Battle and Michael Wright to help their secondary last episode, and now they picked Jermaine Lole to be a solid defensive lineman rotational piece who can help in that middle of that front four. With the 100th pick in the 2022 NFL draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Zamir White, halfback out of Georgia. A little surprised he fell to the 4th round. He's a very good halfback, only has normal dev, but he can get downhill. And when he does, you got to watch out, as he has nice speed for a big back, and he can also truck you and run you over. With the 106th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Smoke Monday, a safety out of Auburn. Now, Monday was the captain of that Auburn defense. He falls to the 4th round here to the Browns. A nice value pick if you ask me. He needs to work on his coverage a little bit, but he can lay the boom, and he will help closer to the line. With the 108th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select John Emery Jr., halfback out of LSU. So Emery Jr. trying to follow in those Fournette footsteps, not quite the same value that Fournette was coming out of college, but he could be a nice solid back. 70 overall hidden dev with 93 speed. A nice pick if you ask me in the 4th round from the Falcons, especially if they want to complement and replace Mike Davis. So that brings us to our pick at 121. We're not going to trade this pick. Instead, I'm going to go with the highest player on my board, our first defensive man of this draft. And with the 121st pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, we take DeMarvion Overshown, a linebacker out of Texas, and he has hidden development, 68 overall. Picked him mostly because of his coverage ability. I saw that zone coverage was a B-, and he has 74 out of the gate with 87 speed. I can see Overshown helping on day 1 in certain nickel packages. A great pick here in the 4th round by the Thunderbirds, if you ask me. Rounding out the 4th round with the 128th pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Max Borge, halfback out of Washington State. Now, Borge reminds me a lot of Edwards-Helaire, but Borge has 90 speed, and he has probably the best catching ability of any back in this draft. He should help out on 3rd downs right away with 85 catching if you take away the boost. So that takes away round 4 from us. We'll go through all the picks here. We highlighted 7 picks. Let me know which one you thought was the best of the 4th round. I thought we did a very good job at pick 121, picking Overshown. Probably a little later taking our first defensive player than we probably should have, but it was a nice value pick. The rest of the rounds will go a little bit faster. Won't spend that much time on rounds 5, 6, and 7, but we will still highlight the key players going forward. On to round 5 we go. We're going to go to the Jaguars with the 133rd pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, and they take Wan'Dale Robinson, wide receiver out of Kentucky. So the Jaguars hit on a hidden dev player here in round 5, Wan'Dale Robinson, who could help in the slot right away with 95 speed. Watch out for him in that AFC South. With the 144th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, Las Vegas Raiders select Kevin Harris, halfback out of South Carolina. Harris is nothing certainly special. He led the SEC in rushing a few years ago at 21 years old. Another power back. He's pretty all around. 85 ball carrier vision, 78 trucking, 83 sprint strength. Nice short yardage back. On the 148th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Jeremiah Hall, fullback out of Oklahoma. So a fullback does go here in the 5th round. Don't really see this very often. Don't think the Ravens really need a fullback, but they are one of the more run-heavy teams. So I guess if a team is to pick a fullback, it is the Ravens, but I had to highlight it. It's a fullback. We don't see those drafted very often. So we actually did not have a 5th round pick, so we're just going to go through the picks here. Only highlighted 3, but you can get the rest of the draft board here. Now you're starting to get into the just mid, high 60 player. I thought the Cardinals got a good pick in Merlin Robertson. Lynn J. Dixon to the Cowboys was a nice one. Jared Patterson to the Seahawks. But now into round 6, we're with the 180th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. Kansas City Chiefs select Jaden Blue, wide receiver out of Temple. Might be the steal of the draft. He's got normal dead, but 72 overall. And he goes to the Chiefs with 93 speed. He is a great pairing with Robinson and Hill, and he can help underneath. So we have the 185th pick in the 6th round. I target Sean Jolly here. He's the highest man on my board. He has early 5th talent. And so we take him here, 67 overall, normal dev. It says it's a good pick. Our first non-hidden dev player. He's a little undersized at 5'9", but I'm looking for a guy who can kind of help us out in the slot. 95 speed. He needs to work on his coverage abilities, but hopefully Jolly can at least be a nickel quarter for us one day. That takes it for round number 6. Khalil Shakir to the Panthers was another nice pick. Thomas Booker to the Broncos. I liked Elijah Blades too. He went to the Browns. And some other solid picks down the line. Blue, I thought, was the pick here in the 6th round. I thought that was a nice selection by the Chiefs. Tanner Morgan goes to the Bengals. He's going to be backing up Joe Burrow, Mr. Joe Cool. And then around 7, we're just going to highlight our pick here. And with the 217th pick, I did look at the trade options, but there's no future picks in like the 6th round I was looking for. And I have one more player on my board who has a talent level that's not undrafted. And we're going to select Charleston Rambo, wide receiver out of Miami, with our last pick in the draft, 65 overall. We already took a wide receiver in the draft, so more just the developmental prospect. I can see Rambo maybe finding a spot on the practice squad. Has pretty good short route running, but needs to work on his other areas, and he has decent release, so maybe he'll be a downfield threat one day. But that's going to conclude our picks in the draft, as well as the draft itself. Thought the Panthers got another good pick in Slade Matuia. Trey Turner to the Lions. They double up on wide receivers in this draft that they're taking Treylon Burks in the 1st. Former Gamecock Dylan Wallen goes to the Patriots, but that'll conclude it with the 7th round. Nothing too exciting. No blockbuster, hidden sleeper picks in this round. Roger McCreary to the Patriots I thought was also a good one. And Josh Proctor is Mr. Irrelevant. So here's our draft picks. We had 6, and we hit on 4 out of 6 hidden dev players. And I thought we had a pretty good draft overall. Let me know in the comments who you thought was our best player selected and who you think has the brightest future with us. So going into the preseason, here's another look at our roster. Remember, we made 6 picks, 4 of them on offense, 2 of them on defense. We would have liked to probably seen that be more on the defensive side, considering that's where we were weak last year. But I just kind of took a best player available approach from where we're at, and we'll make it work. Next episode will be the preseason highlights. I'll also show you who we signed for preseason to see if anybody undrafted makes the roster. But that'll do it for this one. We'll officially transition to the Thunderbirds next episode. You'll see them for the first time take the field. So hope you're excited for that one. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content as we conclude draft week here on the channel. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.